Welcome to Midnight Ramblings Live. It is exactly midnight on now Thursday, the 26th of October, 2023. This could also be called a pop on to pop off because there was no advance notice, and most of our audience that finds this will find it in the replay. I want to make sure I've got my microphone up, and I do, which is good. And as I go live, all of a sudden I have that tickle that's been plaguing me for a few weeks now, but I'm on an antibiotic and antibiotic, and hopefully it'll be strong enough to totally kick it out. We call this one Life with No Taste or Smell. And also we're going to talk about hot button topics, one that was added tonight. Earlier in the evening on Wednesday was the massacre in Maine, the great state of Maine. Don't have the very latest news on that, but I know a lot of people are dead for no reason, and that seems to be what happens. Melissa VD joins us. Hey, Jack, sounds like you're under the weather. I never understood that term, Melissa. What if the weather is good? Or what if it's bad? Either way, am I still under the weather? No, I feel okay. I feel very good. But, I'm still not 100%. Pam Donnelly, hello from Indiana. Yeah. Me and my husband just got over COVID. Hope you feel better. I think I'm a little less nasally tonight. I took a little Flonase. I did, and one of the negative things that happened at 6 p.m. I know exactly when it happened. 6 p.m. Saturday night, October 14th. I enjoyed some scrambled eggs and Jones sausage. I love those Jones sausage, whether you cook them raw or you buy them pre-cooked, like the maple flavor one. And that Jones maple sausage on October 14th at 6 p.m. was the last thing on earth I've tasted since then. So we're not that far from 2 weeks here. And I'm doing some of the things it says to do, like smelling strong scents like eucalyptus, and other strong scents that Karen has, because she has an ionizer in the living room, and she put some nice oils in there. So I've been sniffing these oils, and I smell nothing. And even in terms of things to eat, besides bland food like white rice, it says bacon. So I had some bacon yesterday, and that didn't go anywhere. I didn't taste the bacon at all. But Richard Lyon joins us. Hi, Jack. Hanging with you for a few minutes. Yeah, we're here in the middle of the week. And I don't think this will be too long of a show, but it is Midnight Ramblings live. And hello, replay crowd. You can comment right there in the section you have for the replay, because as soon as we finish this broadcast, the whole show will be available in the live section of this channel, the Virtual Church of the Disillusioned. So I'm reading what you have said. People also ask, What is the origin of the saying under the weather? In the old days, sailors who weren't feeling well were often sent below deck so they could get out of the weather. The term we use. Well, very good, Melissa. See, you can teach an old dog new tricks because I never really looked into that. I just wondered about it for 67 years. Well, not really all of the 67, but it came up. I know when it came up. It came up when I was doing radio in the 80s. And I actually said that on the air, filling in on the morning show. I was pretty green then, and I had a radio legend listening to me because he was part owner of the station, Cousin Brucey. And one of the critiques he had through uh, another DJ who was kind enough to sit in with me because I was just not ready to do the morning show without a lot of help, especially since that was the day the Port Jervis, New York dam broke and there was deep water on Main Street, and eventually there would be coffins unearthed, floating around. True story. And the newscaster, who was a veteran pro all the way, was up to his eyeballs in work trying to get what they called actualities, which is tape from people up in Port Jervis and what have you, whether it be the police chief or whatever. And he would just come running down the hall with reel to reel tape and say, play this during the newscast, which were expanded newscast. And I would have been overwhelmed. And Cousin Brucey was listening. And I said that I was filling in for whoever I was filling in for. And I used the term who's under the weather. And Bruce said to tell me, don't use that term under the weather. I remember that. I remember that. So, Jay Masters, Big J, the bedroom blueberry, the bedroom blueberry. You blueberries, 2 words, huh? Checking in from the road. Yeah, my son is out there. He could be driving now. I always wonder if he secretly has my channel uh, on notifications and really is listening right now, but doesn't ever want me to know. And he doesn't really want me talking about, but he could be driving. He could be driving. I guess home at this point because he's done both of his truckloads already this week. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. I talked to him earlier today. I talk to him every day, almost every day, and sometimes multiple times during the day because it gets lonely on the road, Jay. Right? It gets lonely. Father has come forth from the fire. Oh, the fire. Yes, now you're making me think of the Phoenix, which is a great storyline on Dark Shadows just before Barnabas Collins gets there, and played very wonderfully by uh, Diane Millay. And it was the first storyline that got some decent ratings for Dark Shadows. I started off very slow, but the shows were good. But next came Barnabas in episode 210, and the show became, well, an icon pretty quickly. Uh, the ratings jumped from, well under a million people to millions and millions of people. And Jonathan Fridd, who played Barnabas, getting thousands of emails, I said, thousands of letters. And that led to crowds in the street, et cetera, et cetera. Take some vitamin D. Everybody's got the prescription here. Yeah, I did. Karen has a good vitamin D, 100 milligrams. Take 2 to 4. Oh my goodness, for a day or two. And what will that do for me, Richard? Will that return my taste and smell? Do you take zinc? Ah, yes, I have taken zinc. Yes, that can help with taste and smell. Okay. Um, Horrible shooting in Maine. I'm going to talk about that, Richard. Yep, yep, yep. A little bit. I'm going to talk about it. And yeah, a lot of people giving me advice on that. As I read up on it, it can come back in a couple of weeks. It can come back in a month, and then sometimes it'll be a year. And it makes you think, do I have? I don't think I ever tested positive for COVID. If I did, it was in a home test. And it was kind of iffy whether I had it, and I never got it verified because it was past the time when we were really scared to death of COVID. Paxlovid was around and all that. Paxlovid. If it's if it's COVID, Paxlovid. um, but that is one of the things that happens in long COVID, and I also have another symptom that could be part of that, which is sometimes, not all the time, dry mouth, and it happens especially at night. I'll wake up and man, I can't grab that bottle of water fast enough, or maybe suck on a lozenge because my throat is as dry as the Las Vegas desert in August. So yeah. Oh, already we have some of our regulars here, and I'm happy because this is just a impromptu kind of thing. I didn't want you to think I forgot about you. So far, we're planning on doing a Halloween party live Saturday night. A lot of people probably have Halloween parties over the weekend. They won't wait till Tuesday night. So we will do that. But it's just weird. It's just weird. I tell myself there's no reason right now to be eating junk food, things like potato chips and stuff like that. I mean, I shouldn't be doing it anyway. So this makes it easier. Why would I want to do that? Why would I want to do that? This is a great time to make some better choices and maybe get into a habit with them. But nevertheless, having said that, just yesterday, when I got off work, I've just completed a 6-day stretch working with the 94-year-old gentleman who will be 95 this coming weekend. And I worked a 6-day stretch, just 4 or 6 hours today, 6-hour shifts today, but usually a 4-hour shift. And he's a wonderful man to work with and for. Very, very blessed to have gotten that. And so when I got off last night, I was starving, and I wanted something that I love, even knowing I'm not going to be able to taste it. So I went down to Jackie's Latin Kitchen, which is inside a convenience store slash gas station. The very gas station that I met Karen at after not seeing her for a number of years. She was in there doing her scratch off lottery tickets and when I came in 2008. And that's when I got her phone number because I knew my marriage was in trouble and I probably would be moving back to Middletown. My kids lived here then. Now they live in Texas. And so I went to Jackie's Latin Kitchen because I think my now favorite dessert is their Trace Leche cake, the milk cake, with whipped cream and cinnamon on top. They make a Oreo version too, chocolate, and but I like the yellow cake version, and it's real tough to get it. I've been in there like 6 times, and they just didn't have it. So I pulled up right after I got off my shift at about 5:45 in the late afternoon, and I can see through the slot. I can see where it would be kept as I come in because their little restaurant where they have empanadas and baked chicken and stuff like that is straight ahead, and I see three of the cakes there. I see three of the cakes. Oh, they're all going to be about $5 each. I'm not going to get all three because then I feel like I'm denying someone that might want one. Um, and there's some homemade rice pudding. So as I'm making the corner, I see this well-built Latino gentleman open up the case and take two. I was just seconds away. Take two of the three cakes, and I said, "Oh well." So I approached him and I said, "Oh, you were faster than me. Thanks for leaving me one and a rice pudding too." He said, "Yeah, I love this stuff so much. I love this stuff so much, but I don't love Middletown. I can't wait to get out of here. I just recently in the last week got diagnosed with a brain tumor. And I said, really? Is it benign? And he said, I don't think so. Now he's maybe in his 50s. He's built. He looks as healthy can be. And he tells me, I'm not staying around here. I'm not going to die in Middletown. So I'm going to get out of here. I lived in Florida for a while, and I don't want to stay here. And I understand that feeling. Middletown has this. I don't know. It's just not home anymore, but it is for me. If I want to be with Karen, it is for me. So I should have got his name. I prayed for him last night, and I'll pray for him this night. But just as a point of contact, let's call him Enzo. Pray for Enzo that this tumor would shrink and that he would go on to have the retirement years that I think he has worked so hard for. He's worked so hard for, and he's done very well for himself. Still more advice. Richard Lyon: chew on fennel seeds for a few minutes, then spit them out. Very good for you. Okay. I will review these comments further, including the ones from Father J. Masters. So, yeah, as I got home a little later. I had to stay later tonight, and I got home after 7 and was watching Fox and CNN too, because you know, I, if I'm watching, excuse me, Mr. Mike, the moment I get the moment CNN starts their woke progressive bull, feathers, I'm gone. I'm gone. But the correspondents in the field, including some of the anchors, because when they can. When it calls for it, they can forget their agenda, which is to get Donald Trump and support the woke progressive movement. When there's a war going on, they can kind of put that aside sometimes. Um, and People like um, Matthew Chance and even Christian Emin-Poor, uh, they can. Yeah, well, Christiane is prone to giving her opinions a lot more than she used to, but people like Matthew Chance and Ben Wiedemann and uh, Nick Robertson, they're just hardcore great reporters, and I wouldn't want to miss their reports because I can't stand CNN anymore. I love it when they say, "Oh, look at the new exciting primetime lineup on CNN." What is it? Something like "Where Truth Comes to Shine" or something. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Anyway, um, so it wasn't too long. I was watching as I was having a little. What did I have? What did I have that I couldn't taste? I can't remember now. Oh yeah, I had a turkey and cheese sandwich on the whole grain bread, and the report came on that there was a active shooter in Lewiston, Maine. I've been to Lewiston, Maine. I believe there's a Martin's there. If you're going to go to Maine, it's the only place you can find one. Go to Martin's because it's a great store. We went to the one in Sanford, Maine, a couple of years ago. Not this past summer, but the summer before. We'll probably go this coming summer. And Martin's is just a great store of closeouts and reasonable prices, and you never know what you're going to find at Martin's. So when I was in Lewiston, I know it was because we wanted to go to the Martins there. This would be back in around 2007 or 8, something like that, around that time. And once again, of course, we have, I'm not sure if it's more than one gunman. I always think it's more, and then it turns out to be one, but he was mowing people down at several locations with his AK-47, was it, or was it an AR-15? I don't know. Um, and the end result will be that people will say, what the way to solve this problem is to try to take the automatic weapons away from the law-abiding citizens, and that'll solve the problem. And of course, all it does is it leaves the law-abiding citizens at the mercy of someone who's gonna get the gun. You're never gonna stop them. Let's stop fooling ourselves with this progressive or liberal nonsense. If they want a machine gun, if they want an AR-15, they're sure as hell gonna find a way to get one. If they're mentally ill, and they always are 100% of the time, they will find a way to get the gun. The black market is extensive, and you're fooling yourself if you think by taking away these weapons from the people that probably never even fire them. If they do, it's just something they feel they should have the same kind of weapon than someone that would be their enemy. And in terms of handguns, alley tonight, uh, had been prepared and came around, snuck around to the back of this guy. He could have shot him in the head and saved a lot of lives. That's just the way it is. What do you think, folks? What do you think? Um, it is just so sad. And this all goes back to the fact that we coddle the mentally ill. We took away all the rules and restrictions. We closed the institutions and opened up expensive group homes, and that works for some people. It does work for some people, but for so many, they if they're violently disturbed, prone to violence, w- you just made it easier for them. You just made it easier for them, um, and obviously, if if parents are paying attention, this guy was older, little older. I would say he looked like he was at least in his late 20s. I don't know. With his hair combed nice and everything. He was white. Most people in Maine are white. It's just the statistics, except in Portland. Except in Portland, that would be the one exception. And now there's many migrants in the city of Portland, Maine. But it's just a terrible thing. And if nobody has a gun in the whole place because you're not allowed to have to carry, uh, then there's no chance that you're going to be able to stop this guy. So there is that. Sorry to hear that. Maine is such a wonderful state. It's such a wonderful, wonderful state. I wouldn't want to be there in January, but it's great. Let's see here. If you disagree or if you have another idea, let me know. Let me know. Midnight Ramblings Live, just an impromptu thing, and it's it's been a hard cross to bear, being witness to what has happened with Israel since October 7th, since the morning of October 7th, and you never want to see innocent lives on either side because uh, in Gaza City, there are many people that can't stand Hamas, don't want Hamas in their city. You know, they destroyed their sewer system, they destroyed their electric, and they became very reliant on Israel to supply that. And Israel did supply that. So it's just it's just one of those things that there are no easy answers. There are no easy answers. If Hamas is not destroyed, well, then there'll be another conflict. There'll be another attack, and the fact that there's Iran involved, and there's the organizations like Hezbollah, and it seems like um, Syria is kind of distracted with a civil war. I mean, the president of Syria is a cold-blooded killer who's killed many of his own people. So it doesn't surprise me that the people are. Isn't it amazing how hard it is to take out a dictator like that, like Assad or Putin or Xi? You know, the Chinese people that are here in this city, the Korean people, they have several publications that you can usually get for free, even though there is a cost to the paper, except it's sitting at the diner for free, or the local convenience store, or even the laundromat. And they left China for a reason. They don't like communist rule. They don't like what's going on in China. They don't support Xi and his belief system. That's why they're here in the land of the free, in the home of the brave. Hi, Susan Carter. How are you? Missed you live. Yeah, I haven't been live. We're planning on being live Saturday night for a Halloween party at 10 p.m. East Coast time. So you know, that'll be fun. Here we're just rambling, midnight ramblings live for a little bit. We'll have more in the replay, but I don't have any Bob Joyce Elvis stuff tonight, so that hook is uh, is not uh, is not at the ready. And I just want to do that when I really have something and I feel good and strong about it. I'm literally willing for the channel to take a nosedive into the water, uh, than I am to be forced to do endless Bob Joyce. If I'm a one-trick pony, I'll find something else to do. Now, as a creator, I also feel that I have to come up with things that people would enjoy. But when all your subscribers come from for one topic, it's a real deficit. And I don't want to do something that my heart is not in. There are other times when I feel, yeah, that's interesting, and we'll do a video on it. But I don't want to make any broad proclamations or acclamations. I'm just saying that the trick of having to put that in the title every time to get an audience. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I mean, there are people that's all they want to talk about, and there's so many other things on my heart, and hopefully on the audience's heart too. So that there is that. Hi, Deborah Lake. How are you? Welcome, welcome, welcome. You found us here on Midnight Ramblings Live. Few people checked in. I think we lost most of them, but that's okay. Um, it is late. Uh, Anybody watching in Houston, Texas? Houston, Texas, I believe early voting has started in Houston, Texas. Please, please, God, may it not be that the people in Houston, Texas, that the majority of the people that are going to vote would ever consider voting for Sheila Jackson Lee. If people like her can get elected in Texas, and we've already had a number of these people, people get elected in Texas that you say, what? In Texas? Are you kidding? I mean, it's bad enough in Michigan, but in Texas, um, Sheila Jackson Lee is running for mayor, and as early voting begins, one of her staffers or whatever, probably the one who got screamed at for a prolonged period of time and an obscene rant where she continuously used God's name in vain in Texas. That shouldn't be too popular, and inferred that the person was stupid, MF stupid, and don't know anything about this and that. It was totally demeaning. It showed who she was at her core. At first, she just brushed it off and then realized that wasn't going to be good enough. And then she goes to the standard plan B. Well, I'm not a perfect person. They still didn't acknowledge that that was a real tape, but you can hear her. It is her. and it shows that she is a woman of no character at all. It's one thing to lose your cool. We've all done that, right? But when you listen to the content of what she said, you know exactly who she is. So if you see Sheila Jackson Lee become the mayor of Houston, Texas, that's another sign that we're going to lose everything. We're going to lose everything if people are that stupid to vote for Sheila Jackson Lee. Because in Michigan, they were stupid enough to vote for Whitmer for a second term, and she became a dictator during COVID and wants to put you in jail if you don't use the correct uh, uh, transgender terms and what have you. I mean, you put somebody in an office like governor of the state, and the next thing they do, they're trying to take away your basic constitutional rights, and they get away with it sometimes. They get away with it. Ah, it's a new Priscilla movie. I don't know. The most honest thing I can say, Susan, is I might see it. I might see it, but one misconception about me is that I'm this big Elvis fan, and absolutely love Elvis's music. But as I've said before, I've never been to Graceland. I never loved him enough to see him in concert. I would have liked to, but there were people that were more important to me to see than him. Um, and by the time I would have been ready to see him, he was no longer performing. Let's put it that way. He was no longer performing. So I never got the chance to. I kind of regret that now. I would have liked to have seen him. But, you know, uh, people, I don't mind people sending me in my email, check this out, check that out. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But when you, uh, when you pump out one video after another about a topic. See, people are perfectly willing for me to put my butt on the line, and I got to be sure I don't cross over the line because they're not going to come after you. They're going to come after me. Now, I'm pretty clear. I just speak about possibilities. I don't use much of the church copyrighted stuff. If I used a little, that would be considered fair use, that kind of thing. I know there's people much more flashier than me that are going to get bigger hits. Having said that, we do very well. And, but more and more, if I don't feel good about a video, I don't keep it up forever, that kind of thing. So, um, all I can say is after 5 years of this, you know, uh, if that's all I got, if that's all I got, if I'm going to see the live shows go from anywhere between 2,500 and 600, if I'm going to see them go down to 100, the writing's on the wall. Why waste my time? Why waste my time? If that's all I got, if I'm just, let me get my Bob Joyce fix. Jack has got a new video. I just, there's just too many important things going on. And there are people that write to me that are so obsessed with this topic. And then there's people that are so angry that I'm doing it. I have to deal with that and what have you. And I've had to block more people than usual, that are not happy about it. They probably didn't even watch the video. They just came on to give me a hard time. I know very well if I do a video showing pictures like this, you know, they're going to say, "Oh, that's the gardener. That's the gardener." And I've seen the gardener, and that doesn't look like him. Although the gardener does look, he does have somewhat of the Kenny Rogers look too. But if I put up pictures like that, they're always gonna say that it's not Bob, and they could be right. They could be right, because that beard does look a little heavier, and so. But there are people that's what they do. They try to spread doubt, and uh, so I'm grateful for the over 250,000 hits that I've had talking about Bob Joyce, but there are other things, and it's not to find another conspiracy. If some people label that topic a conspiracy topic. So you know, if I don't talk about Elvis and the hits go down to next to nothing, I'll move on to something else. I just can't. I can't live with you know commenting on everything the man does. But if it's something good and something that really adds to the story, and I'm not having to, oh, how can I get Elvis in the title? How can I get Bob Joyce in the title? Because if I don't, the views will be way down. That gets to be a drag after a while. Hi, Nancy DeMarco. So happy to see you back. So happy that you're here, Nancy. I really, really am. And um, I just decided to do this. I don't have to work today. I worked the last 6 days, and I'm still battling what turned out to be a sinus infection. I'm on an antibiotic, and I on October 14th lost my two senses. I mean, I've got a couple ex-wives that will say I lost all my senses. Come to your senses. Yes, I want to. I lost my sense of taste and smell. I cannot taste anything. I cannot smell anything. And I've been smelling eucalyptus and things like that, strong peppermint oil, and I can't smell it at all. So how long this will last, and there's various remedies and things to eat and what have you. And I'm looking at that information, and your comments are welcome. But that's a drag, that's kind of a drag. So no reason to be eating potato chips anymore. Why would I? I can't taste them, you know. So what else? I'm looking at my list here. Shelley from Canada is not on, but she'll probably watch the replay. She is the Canadian campaign chairman for Donald Trump. What a mess. What a mess. Between that and the debacle of the speaker, we finally have a new speaker who seems like a wonderful man. Mike seems like a wonderful man. He's a 4-term congressman, which is only 8 years, but kind of looks like Stephen Colbert. Only he's got a much higher moral code than Stephen Colbert, who claims to be a lover of God, but seems to hate everything holy and beyond the progressive side all the time. But this whole procedure of the last few weeks as they try to get a speaker, and about 8, well, first it was 8, including Nancy Mace from South Carolina, blocking the way and what have you. Kevin McCarthy, I thought, was doing a pretty good job. And there's never been a situation where, it's so easy to get rid of a speaker if you don't like him, and talk to a few other people, and you're gonna be able to overthrow. And here we are, in a situation with Israel where we're helping them, and we're moving our ships closer and closer to be on standby for Israel, as I believe we should be. I don't equate Israel as being the same as Ukraine. It's a whole different situation. Israel is our loyal ally, and since the Bible says to stand with Israel, I believe that's what we should do. So in the midst of that, we had no speaker in the House for weeks, because they threw Kevin McCarthy out. And I just think it made the Republican Party look stupid. I think it really made the um, Republican Party sounds stupid. Well, I would agree with you, Susan, about I can't stand CNN. And normally I would not watch CNN at all. But during war coverage, they have some great reporters, and I wouldn't want to miss them. They also quickly built up the amount of reporters out there in Israel, and somebody is in Lebanon. One of the reporters now is in Lebanon, and I wouldn't want to miss Nick Robertson. I wouldn't want to miss Ben Wiedemann. Wouldn't want to miss Matthew Chance, people like that. And but the moment I start, they start to go back to their regular jive, I'm gone. If I'm watching, the moment I see Dana Bash sitting there with a crowd of young people around the round table, I'm gone. There's nothing that they can say that I want to hear. And so it is a little bit different in wartime, but I also, was watching Fox and some great reporters over there as well. They brought all their veterans over there, and so that's very good too. That's very good too. I understand. I mean, they're talking about their primetime lineup on CNN. Um, no, thank you. No, thank you. I don't want to watch Caitlin Collins. I don't want to watch Miss Phillips. I don't want to watch Sarah Coates. Is it? Nobody's watching them because the people that would agree with their progressive extremist politics are not watching CNN news. That's not their thing. So they they throw away any chance they have of real success. But this time of the year, I mean, when something like this happens, absolutely their ratings go up. They're able to charge more for advertising, and they do have. They do have a force of reporters that deserve better than sludge like Anderson Cooper and I have to say Jake Tapper. I thought he was reforming a little bit, but oh, geez, talking to one of the Republican congressmen saying, "Oh, your party is such a mess," and what have you. Look at your own party. Look at the beliefs of your own party that you have stood by. You know, People that are trying to destroy America, pee on the Constitution, that are okay with a 12-year-old having their breast cut off or a boy being chemically castrated. What are we talking about? We're talking about partial birth abortion, and you're okay with that? Why don't you put a partial birth abortion on CNN so everyone can see the horror of exactly what that is? I'd rather there never be one more again, but put it on CNN since it's going to be, and let everybody see what it is they believe in living color, in digital quality. And I think a lot of people would change their minds. I think a lot of people would change their minds. so, but yeah, for the most part, and I saw it today. I saw Dana Bash being called out by those are good moments when there's a Republican on there that knows how to cut through the nonsense and says, "Well, if you want to litigate the 2020 election again, let's go back to 2016 when Hillary Clinton said that Donald Trump winning the presidency was a totally illegitimate election. 2012, when 2012 was it? When 2008, right? I don't know. I forget. Um, when Al Gore was claiming that he was the real winner, and some people say in that particular case it might have been true. He might have because he did have more votes than George W. Bush, but the controversy was in that old electoral college, So everybody does this, and now they're trying to crucify Trump for trying to find more votes in places like Georgia and Arizona, etc. He doesn't help himself, though. I mean, oh my goodness, he cannot. And I hear Republicans say this, even Republicans that voted for him. He cannot help himself. He cannot shut his mouth. And he's leaving himself vulnerable to this awful judge in Atlanta, this liberal judge who's obviously already made up his mind about Donald Trump many moons ago. He could try to put him in jail. He could try to do it. When you're told there's a gag order, you just have to deal with that and be very careful what you say. But he can't do that. And I just don't see how he's going to get more votes than he got last time. So, since the most important thing is that the Republicans take back the White House, the Congress, and maybe even the Senate in the 2024 election, you have to ask yourself, can Donald Trump win the general election? Um, I would not be surprised if we lost the Congress in 2024 and lost the general. There's just too many bad things happening. And that's why I like Ron DeSantis, because I know he could win, but he's not going to get up enough steam fast enough to do it. So don't be surprised if come November 2024, all the talk about Trump and stuff is silenced when Gavin Newsom becomes the next president of the United States. He's spending a week in China right now. He's such a liar saying he's not interested in the job and Biden's fine and all that. He lies about everything. And here he is over there with President Xi. And instead of talking about the gross human rights violations in China, he's talking about the most important thing to him, which is climate change. It doesn't matter if you're torturing your own people, that the prison camps are full, and that you rule over your people with an iron fist and kill anybody that gets in your way. Let's talk about climate change. Oh, look at these electric vehicles they have. So this guy who's destroyed California, destroyed San Francisco, would be number one on the list in many other parts of California, and allowed a woke DA to make crime run rampant and chase all the stores out of the big metropolitan areas because you basically made it legal to steal. You want this guy to be the next president? Eh, I just can't get upset about it anymore. I can't get upset about it. I would be happy if Trump won re-election, um, but I don't see how it's going to happen. I don't see how it's going to happen. There's like so many people out to get him. They're going to, even if he were still able to run, they're going to try to make it so that they use, what is it, the 14th Amendment, where they say he's unfit for office. There's so many people that are passionately, they have all kinds of plans to make sure they win in 2024, all kinds of shenanigans in some cases. And I don't know how to be optimistic about this. So I'm not gonna, whatever happens, happens. It's God's will. And I know a lot of people are asking, where is God in all of this? Where is God? And I have done that too, except to say that if you read the Bible, the times we are living with, and even Mike Johnson, who's a wonderful speaker, the new Speaker of the House, he seems terrific. He's ultra conservative, and they're going to harp on that. Oh, he's one of those election deniers. He didn't want them to, you know, to what's the word? To what Mike Pence did, which forever made him an enemy of Trump, which was to certify the election. He was on that team, Mike Johnson, but he was saying, "I still believe in my heart that America's best days are ahead of us." Have you? But you've read the Bible, sir. You're a real Christian. I can tell you're a real born again Christian. So why would you say that? When do you think the last days are coming? Do you not see all the signs? Do you not see all the signs that we're going down faster than a fat man on a seesaw? And we're so broke now, nothing for the grandchildren will be left, and nobody cares. The tax and spend Democrats that turned into the tax and spend um, progressives will ensure that we will be broke and owe so much money to China, and then they will just take over, perhaps. Ted Richards joins us. Hello, Jack, and everyone. Glad I catch you or caught you live tonight. um, did you see the Queen of Jordan commenting on the Israel war? I missed that because I've been working the last 6 days, so I haven't gotten to see as much of the coverage as I would usually see. I'm glad that Trace is over there now in Israel. Trace Gallagher, right? I think that's him, who does the late Fox News. He's fantastic, and John Roberts was great when he was over there. She managed to turn it around and blame Israel while denying that babies were decapitated and women and seniors were mutilated. Yeah, isn't that incredible, Susan? Um, they 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 know they can't justify that kind of behavior, so they just deny that it ever happened. But we have the tapes, and no, they're not doctored. No, I feel for the people of Gaza. They need their supplies. Israel cut off the electric and the water, and it's a real problem because how much of the supplies that do get in does Hamas grab? Everyone says if we send fuel in there, Hamas is just going to take it. They're just going to take it. I'm surprised that they're not killing the people at the border. I guess right now they're trying to do damage control on their image, releasing a few hostages. They're playing politics now because they are overwhelmed and they really want a ceasefire. And it even seems like Israel is listening to Joe Biden, which is like taking advice on parenting from Jeffrey Epstein or what's that character, Mommy Dearest, who Faye Donahue played so well, the actress from Mommy Dearest. um, it's just crazy. Biden seems to worm his way into things that you never would think that he would get involved in because most of the time, once his cognitive medicine wears off, you see him melt. You see him melt before your eyes. You see Joe Biden go from someone who isn't too bad reading the teleprompter and at first he said some pretty good things about supporting Israel unequivocally and all that. You see him then, like when he was at the plane door and the press was surrounding him, you see that the cognitive medicine has worn off, and now he is just like this lost man. He's like this lost soul wandering around the airport or something like that. And you see the staff behind him petrified that cringing, including Admiral Kirby, who has sacrificed to me his reputation to work for Joe Biden in many times, talking about the Afghanistan situation and what have you. I used to think more of Admiral Kirby than I think of him now. I never thought anything of Jean Pierre. I wouldn't put her. I wouldn't put her as the toilet monitor somewhere. Joan Crawford, that's right, Bob, 1974. Yeah, Faye Dunaway played that. And, she was obviously a lousy parent, and is Joe Biden, especially if some of the things in the Ashley Biden uh, diary, if that's real, he's a sick puppy. I don't know what else to say. Hello, Miss Mellows. We don't usually see you live. Nice to be talking to you, Miss Mellows. Hi, Jack. Glad you are back. Yeah, I'm, on the mend. I'm still, I got a ways to go. Ever since I got this ICD implanted, the defibrillator, seems like I'm more prone to colds and things like that. So I'll have to be careful. And when I stop walking, that's when I can't believe I'm talking like an old man now. The arthritis in my lower back kicks in, and I got to get out there and walk because otherwise, you can find yourself in excruciating pain. It is really true. If you don't use it, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose it. Betty Davis, yeah, she was kind of a cycle too, wasn't she? Um, there was a number of old movie stars that treated their children very badly, and Bing Crosby was one of them. Bing Crosby was one of them. Enslaving us into what they want to do. Um, yeah, everybody's trying to, they don't care about America. They care about getting power. They care about uh, pursuing their agenda for climate change and what have you, being foolish enough to think that they're going to save the planet. They're going to save the planet while they do everything that oh, there's the JW behind me. Now I see it. Do everything they can to destroy America. And this Tlaib, it's time for her to go. She has obviously violated the oath she took. She is not putting America first. She hates America. It's obvious. She hates Jewish people. And there are plenty of Jewish people in her, even in Michigan, right? Again, I don't know what's going on in Michigan with the people they elect. Um, this it will be a major component. And as I say, if Sheila Jackson Lee becomes the mayor of Houston, you might as well call in the dogs and pee on the fire. That's it for Texas. If the people like that in a core city like Houston can get elected mayor, it's a sign that it's the end of the world as we know it. That kind of thing. Good to have you here, Bob. 1974. Is that the year you were born? There are so many people um, who believe they're crap. Yeah. Because let's face it, Bob, 1974, there's only about a third of the people that really are perceptive and intelligent and smart. I'm not talking about book smart because I didn't go to college. I have to, when I do a topic often, I have to research it and really think about it. And that's why I probably wouldn't do a regular talk show. I'm just not versed enough because I wouldn't be quick enough to really speak about what the caller was talking about. Um, but yeah, it's just true that you can fool most of the people most of the time. When I say most, far more than 50% of the people. And it makes me think of that great movie Network from 1974 with Faye Dunaway and William Holden, and of course, playing the role of Howard Beale. What was his name? It was Peter, right? Peter. Um, Howard Beale was the network anchorman that lost his mind. Um, lost his mind. Um, and would show up for the newscast with his hair all messed up, wearing an overcoat like Columbo would wear, and he would just start ad libbing, and what he was saying was much more interesting to the viewer than just giving the daily routine of who died today, and there was a fire here, and this and that, and he was the voice of urgency. He was the voice of urgency. Oh, they say, uh, people say, just give me my color TV and my toaster and my microwave, and I won't say anything. I won't say anything. But I'm telling you, you've got to get mad as hell. You've got to get mad as hell. Oh, great movie. Great movie. Propaganda is very powerful in this country right now. Sure, sure, sure. And, people are, their heads are buried in their phone or in their tablet or in their whatever device. And people are just hooked they're they go around with their face buried in this. They're playing video games and what have you, and they are they are not going to be part of making America great again, are they? They're they're totally out to lunch. You know, they're totally out to lunch. So I didn't see that Susan Carter, the Queen of Jordan, but I'd like to see the clip. But yeah, they were. I think it was Calissa Ward, was it? See, that's another good one on CNN. She does a really good job, and it was either her or anyway, they were interviewing people that were insistent on talking to them right there in Gaza City, near the area where they were trying to get supplies into them. And this woman was just screaming at Clarissa Ward, saying, "Hey, this is not a war. This is not a war." She's, furious. Well, yeah, it is a war when you invade Israel, when you kill hundreds of young people at a music festival, when you go into homes and kidnap and rape or kill an entire family, including the children, yeah, you've declared war on Israel. You may not be comfortable with that, but don't tell me they don't have a right to defend themselves, and to try to blot out Hamas, and in the crosshairs, unfortunately, are the people of Gaza, and many children have died in these attacks. They try not to do it. They didn't bomb the hospital. That was proven. Even CNN was right there doing the testing of the weapon, and it was not an Israeli weapon. They didn't make that mistake. They try hard not to, but war is really hell. But this woman was just insistent about that this. Not being the Palestinian problem. I wanted Clarissa. So, just for the record, I just want to know here, what do you, who are saying that we understand what your needs are, and we they need to be provided. People are starving and freezing and everything else. Well, it's not too cold there, but they have real needs, and anybody with a heart wants to see them taken care of. They are wounded, they're sick, they have no shelter. Their home has been blown to bits. I wonder what she says. So tell me what you think in your heart about Jewish people in general. What do you think about the Jews? Well, the truth is, most of them hate Jews. They absolutely hate them. So they may not be in the pocket of Hamas. They may not be happy with Hamas, but then many of them look to Hamas for protection from Israel in their mind. Protection. Whereas Israel just was happy with everything being quiet and peaceful. They didn't want they didn't want this to go on for uh, they didn't want this conflict. They didn't want this war. We didn't ask for this war, said Benjamin Netanyahu, but now that it's been handed to us, we're going to win it. And winning it to them is defeating Hamas. And then, of course, you have to worry about Iran. You have to worry about um, um, Lebanon and many other places that are hostile to America and hostile to Israel. And we always are teetering these days at the edge of World War III. World War III. My shirt matches my background. More my glasses, I guess. Well, yes, there's the hummingbird back there. I'm wondering, anybody watching from Florida, either on the replay or live? Um, the hummingbird. I love hummingbirds. I think that's such an incredibly cool creation from God. All summer long into the early fall, we have our hummingbird feeder, and a lot of hummingbirds um, drop by, but they've all gone now. So I'm wondering, if you're in Florida, for example, do you notice a lot more hummingbirds? Do the hummingbirds that were in my backyard, are they now in your backyard, perhaps? Is there an influx? Do they come with their little suitcases, around the 20th of October, perhaps, and there for the winter? It's such a cool thing to think that the identical hummingbirds that were in our backyard this past summer will come right back to the same backyard next summer. They say that happens. It's just amazing. That's a creation of God right there. There's a lot of things I don't understand about what's going on in this world, why God allows these things to happen. Although I also read the scriptures where he talks about the very times we apparently live in, the last days. And so he let us know that he wasn't going to stop it. He wasn't going to stop it. It's all a result of sin. And every one of us is guilty. Every one of us is guilty of falling short of the glory of God. That's my personal opinion. You may reject that. And this is America. God gives you the right to reject the gift of eternal life if you want and say it's a hooey. So we talked about, we talked about Gavin Newsome over in China kissing the butt of President Xi. Nikki Haley still wants to go to war with everyone. She's like a wild woman. We will definitely be in World War III if Nikki Haley has anything to say about it. I don't think she has a chance of being president. The other, Lindsey Graham, always shooting his mouth off. Um, Again, the big difference between Israel and the Ukraine. Ukraine, not a NATO country. The country is already destroyed. It's not going to come back. It'd be blown up again if it did. Putin will never lose. Can you imagine? There are like General Kellogg, for example, that you see on Fox News and other generals. I don't know about Petraeus, what he feels about this. I haven't heard him talk about that because he's talking about Israel right now. And I like General Petraeus. Okay, he said some things to a girlfriend he shouldn't have said. Matt Gaetz, same thing. And there's a lot of Democrats too. Something about being in a relationship, you say things you shouldn't say, and Trump is guilty of that too, of course. And that's all coming out. They'll find something every day, something new to use against him. But the idea that Vladimir Putin is going to say, gee, I've got North Korea on my side. I've got China on my side. They'll back me up if I need it. And many other countries as well. I'm just going to say, okay, I give up. We're going to end the conflict in Ukraine. We're just going to go back and we give up. You really think Putin would ever do that? He's that close to using tactical nukes in Kyiv. Oh, well, he hasn't destroyed Kyiv. He hasn't wanted to destroy Kyiv yet. He knows he's got to be careful there because radiation, if he uses tactical nukes, can waft over to Poland, and then he'll have a world war on his hand. And I don't think he wants that. But allowing Zelensky to take billions and billions and billions of dollars when we know we are so many trillions of dollars in debt, and China is giving us money and owning a piece of America, a bigger chunk of America with each and every transaction is insane. Putin will not back down. And that's all you need to know, Nikki Haley. That's all you need to know, General Kellogg. He's not going to back down. Not in a million years. God would have to stop him. Pray for that. What do you think about Sarah Sanders' new bill to move uh, China out of Arkansas? I love it. More states need to follow suit. Yeah, I saw a video today. Good old Nikki Haley from when she was the governor of South Carolina saying China wants to come here and we want to make them part of the family. It's like my casa, your casa, and speaking how excited she was about China developing in South Carolina. Shows you how stupid she really is. She's not. She thinks very highly of herself. Um, but she's just an angry child, it seems. It'd be very dangerous for her to be president of the United States, but who could be more dangerous than Joe Biden? He's got them all beat. He's got them all beat. So I don't agree with that. I think that there was a time that we had a definite limit on how much a foreign country could buy, and the very city I live in, Susan, has been bought up by 3 or 4 groups of people. Um, China would be in the lead. China would be in lead. Just a few feet from me, they have bought up most of the former Middletown Psych Center. They have a dance studio up there. They have a medical college up there, and they have housing up there and what have you. And the other buildings and businesses that are there, they're going to find a way to get rid of them. They especially want to get rid of the homeless shelter that's up there. You know, they couldn't buy the whole property. They had to settle for buying individual buildings, and they do all the work themselves. They work 7 days a week. They're slow, I'll say that much. It takes them a couple years to really get something ready. If you got the Amish in there or the Jehovah Witness, they raise it in a couple of weekends or something. But yeah, they're buying up so many things. Our former Times Herald Record, which is on Fulton Street, they bought that, and then across the street is where it's like a 3 level, 3-story building where they used to have social services, mental health, and at one time, I don't know what else. There was a number of different businesses there. They bought the entire building, and who knows what they're doing in there? Who knows? They've got endless money. They've got endless money. They've bought a lot of duplexes and things like that. They know how to turn a profit. So I think that there should be a restriction on how much land any group of people that can buy that are not Americans. I pray for God's healing to penetrate through your body from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet in Jesus' name. Well, God has always given. I think I might have said this to you privately or in a public comment. God has always given me far more grace than I deserve. If I got what I deserved, I would have died a long time ago. I would have died a long time ago. I think I'll reserve the thing about the people taking pleas. The President Trump, those that are taking plea deals. I'm going to talk about that Saturday night. I don't want to. I don't want to go for the whole ball of wax tonight because this is just a pop on to pop off. About 11 people that I know watching live, and Midnight Ramblings. We're going to wrap it up soon. So if you have any other comments or questions or concerns, let me know now. Let me know now. Or comment in the replay, which will be available as soon as we wrap this up. I just wish that Rashida Tlaib would be called out for her behavior, which I think violates the oath she took as a congresswoman. She always tries to twist it around like you're persecuting me because of my heritage. No, you're an embarrassment to your heritage. You're an embarrassment to your heritage, and you're certainly all wrong to be representing the United States as a congresswoman. Forget it. Yeah. So yeah, this situation in Maine, in Lewiston, Maine, which is a wonderful, wonderful place to live. I don't know any other way to stop this because it's going to continue to happen. That if people aren't allowed, I'm talking about responsible adults aren't allowed. Maybe make it 25 and up to carry in your person. I don't know. Um, for them to be able to carry, to have a permit to carry. so that there's a chance that one of them could shoot a guy that comes in with a machine gun dead. Could get him, could sneak on him, up on him from the side and shoot him in the head. Because this guy had no armor on or anything. He was just mowing him down. And it looks like, I don't know what the latest update is. It could be as much as when I heard 22 dead. 22 dead in Lewiston, Maine, and it wasn't just at a bowling alley. There were multiple locations, and there could be more than one shooter. Can you believe the two? I guess they're teenagers. Yeah, they are, but they're going to be charged as adults in Las Vegas who mowed down the retired police chief from California, and they have footage of them in the police cruiser, and the guy is bragging, "Oh, we're going to be out in a month. We'll be out in a month," because he thinks he's going to be charged as a child. And there they are sitting in court, and the family of this this retired police chief from California who was just riding his bike at 6 o'clock in the morning, had all kinds of plans for his retirement. He had just retired, and these two clowns, while filming for TikTok, which was stupid because you can trace it easily, shows you how stupid they were. They just mowed him down on his bicycle, and then they hit somebody else. They didn't kill that person, but they killed the cop. He seemed, pictures of him, you can just tell by looking at his face that he was a wonderful man. And there is his daughter and other family members, perhaps his wife, I don't know, that was in the courtroom during the arraignment. And this one guy is slyly giving the finger to the family, and you look in their eyes and they're just soulless and dead, and you can just see that they personify evil. And that had to take, because the evil didn't come from them, it came from dark forces, it came from Satan. But they couldn't care less. The only thing they would care about is, oh, I thought I was going to get out in a month and now I could be doing life in prison. They'll care about that. So sad for the family. So many horrific things going on. But I'm happy for Mike Johnson, the new Speaker of the House. Hello, Bella Boo Kitty. I apologize for being so late. This is just really a pop on to pop off, but I call it Midnight Ramblings Live. You can see the whole thing in the replay that's about to replay. Evil is everywhere, and it is so sad, Deborah. You're right. We are in the last days. There are people that think that the rapture is coming in 10 minutes. I don't know that that's true. I I'm not really a pre-trib person. If you're into the prophecy, you'll know what I mean. More important than understanding prophecy is to try to live a life that's glorifying to God and find out what the Holy Spirit wants us to do in these last days. You can ask questions forever, like, why would God allow this? Why would he allow that? I don't have those answers. I don't have those answers, except that we are a sin-soaked world, and all of us have fallen short of the glory of God. And I am high on that list. Paul the Apostle called himself chief of sinners. Are you kidding me? Chief of sinners? So there is that. There is that. Where I live, 32 murders this year. Oh, boy. Yeah. There are so many cities like that. So many cities that have been ruined by progressive thought, progressive extreme government. While they're trying to force you to buy an electric car, the whole all of America is like on fire. Not every nook and cranny, thank God. Thank God for Governor DeSantis in Florida and what have you. But in places you would never think the progressive extremists who hate America could get a foothold, like in the state of Texas, Austin, and now Houston to a degree, and Dallas too. It's just unbelievable. 10 years ago, this would not have been the case. They would have run you out of town, they would have run you out of town. Um, I think Trump is the only person who can make Putin stop and think. I understand exactly what you're saying, Bob, 1974. I don't think he can win the general election. If he does, it'll be God that does it, and I I don't know what to say about that. He's got so many things to overcome, and he's got to, including all the things they're going to do to ensure that they have victory in the November elections of 2024. And he doesn't help himself because he can't shut his mouth. Even when he's giving the judge power to put him in jail. You know, the judge realizes that would not be a smart move, and that it would probably be overturned by a higher court. But he could make it happen, and he keeps talking about things, and he's got so many scores to settle and what have you. I'll talk more about the plea deals that people are taking during our Halloween party because I'm not a big Halloween person because I think it's okay. If a kid wants to go out and wear a costume and what have you. I wouldn't wear a devil costume. I wouldn't wear. I wouldn't wear anything that to me is displeasing to the Lord. But we all like to be scared. We all, when we were all little, we wanted to go out and get our candy and what have you. And I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that. Jack, you must go see the movie Domino Effect. People were praying. I never. I never share parking lot for strangers. It's number 3, a box office at the box office. It will be on again November 13th. All right. Um, yeah, I know there's some good stuff out there. No new stuff being produced right now, thanks to the nanny. Fran Drescher put everybody out of work. When are they going to realize? Now, there hasn't been an update in this, right? Because I, I didn't see it because they're not covering many other stories other than the war, and then they sneak in their anti-Donald Trump stories, or if it's Fox News, and, they're not as pro-Trump as they used to be on Fox News. They like Ron DeSantis, but um, sometimes in terms of this SAG actors thing, you make outrageous demands and they're just not going to do it. They're just not going to do it. So at some point, you have to say, um, this is hurting the members too much because, you know, not everybody is making a big salary like the movie stars. There's many people barely surviving and they are out of work now and waiting tables or whatever they can get in California. So, no new shows. If they don't get back to work soon, there's no chance of having new shows even by February. Of course, I don't watch any of them, except as you know, if you watch me, I do. We do watch The Good Doctor with Freddie Highmore, and like that very much. Um, we got 17 people. We got the top number now. So some of you haven't identified yourself. Let me know who you are and where you're watching from. Where you're watching from. Are there more hummingbirds in Florida now? There must be. And in the Gulf of Mexico, too. In the Gulf of Mexico. My son has been driving as far as El Paso, Texas, and, or Laredo. And you're right near the Mexican border when you're in one of those places, he seems fairly happy in his new gig. It's very similar to what he did before, though. Very similar. But it's a little better of a setup. So we're going to strive to be with you Saturday night at 10 p.m. East Coast time for our live Halloween party. And if you have any spooky stories, feel free to bring them along for the ride, and I'll see what I can come up with. And we'll talk about other things too. We'll talk about other things. I saw the clip of Megyn Kelly. Let me see if I can move this up. Oh, the king of Jordan or the queen of Jordan refuses to allow the people of Gaza into Jordan. Yeah, that's the thing. It's not just Jordan that have said firmly they don't want the people of Gaza in their country. You know, Poland says we don't have any of these problems because we don't let immigrants in, but they're all a creation of God. I think there's a difference between a creation of God and a child of God. I think you become a child of God when you give your heart to Jesus Christ. I think that's when we actually become a child of God. I think it's important to note that. It's important to note that they don't want Jewish haters coming into their country, and that's what they perceive the Palestinians to be. Um, many of them would say, "What happened to Israel? Well, they deserved it. They deserved it." And when the smoke clears, Benjamin Netanyahu is not going to be around because it was a major security breach. And the United States missed it too. The United States missed it too. They were training for 2 years. They were practicing even how to, parasail in and what have you. Um, they had training centers that were 1 mile from the Gaza Strip. And America, and more importantly, in this case, Israel, missed it all. Missed it all. What does that tell you? That's how easy it can be. That's how easy. Hello, Charlotte. Welcome from Missouri. I'm glad you're here. We're closing out because it's already an hour and a half. And this was just a pop on to pop off that I call Midnight Ramblings Live because we began precisely at midnight on this Thursday morning when we're doing it. But hello, replay crowd. It'll be available for replay as soon as I finish talking. And so we've seen mostly people whose names are familiar to me. In fact, I think all of the names are familiar to me here. And that means because you guys have the notification bell turned on. And I'm so glad you did. I'm so glad you did. So let's do it Saturday night. Worldwide ramblings, but we'll call it our Halloween party. 10 p.m. East Coast time. I think I'll be okay. I'm still on the mend, but I think I'll be okay to do that. And I would love to see you there. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate you.